I'm here. We're live. Good to go. Only 6 minutes late. Hopefully you guys, found something to do for 6 minutes while I was stuck in traffic trying to get here. I just coached a class at the gym and I rush here every Wednesday to talk to you guys. So let's see what we got going on here. It looks like today I can see comments. So as everybody pops in, we should be good to go. Let's do this. Because I know she was looking for, if I can figure out if this is going to work. I've never tried tagging somebody, and it's not going to work. Okay, trying to tag somebody in here. There's Lindy. Lindy. I was just looking to see if I could tag you, so you knew this was happening. Hi, Barb. All right, we had a question. Who asked? I forget who asked. Somebody asked a question about stretching. Hold on, see if I can find it. Do, 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 do. Oh, it was Lindy. Lindy, it was you. Hey, you asked a question about wondering how long I can wait to stretch cool down after finishing resistance machines. Does it have to be right after, or can I leave it for an hour or so? Okay. Hey, Jennifer, how's it going? All right, well, let's talk about stretching in general because there's a lot of things that people do stretching for that may or may not be what we should be doing it for. Um, there are two. Let's see, how do we do this? First, let's talk about, before we even talk about stretching, let's talk about the nervous system a little bit. So there's two categories, two types of our nervous system. We have sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. The sympathetic nervous system is basically those things that um, are more under our control more about activity, more about doing things. When your sympathetic nervous system is active, your heart rate increases, your sensation, your senses increase. There's just a bunch of different things that happen, right? Blood flow increases, your body gets ready to do work, right? Let's just leave it at that. We don't need to get too down into the weeds there. Then there's the parasympathetic nervous system, that is the opposite. It's the thing that your body kicks into when it's preparing to uh, recover, when it's in resting state. Okay, so think about um, the sympathetic nervous system as your fight or flight response. Okay, and your parasympathetic nervous system is the rest and relax response. Okay, so there's the two different competing types of things we have in our body. Um, there is a way to activate them, and you can use stretching, okay, to work in either or of those types of systems. Okay, and why that's applicable is because there's a way to do stretching when you're beginning to start a workout, when you're getting your body ready to work and you're activating the sympathetic nervous system. And then there's a way to use stretching to activate the parasympathetic nervous system and work on recovery, to tell your body it's time to stop the fight or flight. So let's talk about the first one. Okay. So a lot of times you hear people say it's not good to stretch before you work out. You should warm up first and then stretch. And that is absolutely true. That is stretching cold muscles is really counterproductive. Your body responds to stretching way way better if it's started to get activated, if you've got your heart rate up, if you have your blood pumping, and you've worked. Okay, the way that you are stretching for a warm up, when you are stretching to start, they're getting ready to work out. They do that stretch where they just sit on the floor. They holding a position for a period of time. A dynamic stretch is something where you're moving your body almost like you normally would, and you're over exaggerating or forcing a body position that's not normal to increase your range of motion in a specific joint, thereby stretching the muscles in that joint that are involved in that movement. So, for example, Franken. So you're moving, and that's the key part to dynamic. You're moving through an extended or exaggerated range of motion. Okay, you're activating something we call synovial fluid, which is fluid that all is in our joints to help move, help our bones slide across each other, things like that. So dynamic stretching is needed in a warm-up routine. Okay. Uh, when we talk about cooling down, okay, there's a difference. When we talk about cooling down, we're talking about static stretching. So here's how I like to look at it. Coach told me this a long time ago. I may not phrase it exactly the same, but the gist of it was when it comes to stretching, you stretch at the beginning of a workout to prepare for the workout. At the end of the workout, you're stretching to improve your recovery and range of motion for the next workout. Okay, that's what I want you to think about. When you're starting your workout, your stretches are targeted towards getting you ready for that workout. Okay, that is not the time to be worried about, I need to get better range of motion. Okay, your range of motion is going to happen through proper range of motion in your exercising and what you do to stretch after you work out. Your body is the most prepared to extend range of motion after your workout. It's completely warmed up, it's completely ready to go, everything is activated. That is when it is primed to improve range of motion. Okay, so prepare for the workout with stretching before using dynamic stretching. At the end of your workout, what you're doing is you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system, telling your body it's time to chill out. So that means we don't want movement. We want static. We want holds. We want to sit still. Okay. So that's where long 20, 30-second, a minute long holds in a stretch or a position is going to be beneficial to help your body calm down and get into that rest and relaxation phase. All right. That is also when you have a great chance of extending range of motion and improving your flexibility over what you may have had in the past. Okay. So prepare for at the beginning, recovery, and extend, improve at the end. Okay, that's the basics of stretching. All right, now there's a couple things. To Lindy's initial question, does it matter how long you? Okay, if you don't do anything specifically for priming your parasympathetic nervous system or improving your range of motion, then your body's going to get to a point of homeostasis afterwards where it's no longer warmed up from the workout and it's already cooled down enough where if you start stretching, it's the same as if you're stretching before a workout. Okay, so if you were to do any kind of stretching, it would need to be dynamic. But again, go back to the beginning, dynamic stretching and preparing for a warm up is not what you need to cool down, and it's not what you need to improve your range of motion. Okay, so if you miss that window, I'm not going to give you a specific time on that window, but when you feel like you're cooled down and you're recovered from that initial workout, you 15, 20, 30 minutes, then you've probably missed the time where it would be best for you to do that stretching. Okay, so if you can do some kind of stretching and cool down immediately after your workout, that would be ideal. If you don't, then whatever A couple other things about stretching that I want people to understand. Stretching does not improve your risk of injury. Okay. Stretching does not improve your risk of injury. Okay. Directly. All right. I throw that in there, right? You have that dramatic pause. Okay. Stretching does not directly improve your risk of injury. Stretching does one thing, and that improves your range of motion, which allows you to activate more muscle, which allows you to be more stable, controlled, and handle more stress on your body, which then helps you reduce your risk of injury. It does not directly reduce your risk of injury. Most people think that when they pull a muscle, that is because they didn't stretch enough, right? How many times have you maybe been doing something active? You pulled a hammy, you pulled a calf, you did something, and you're like, oh man, I should have stretched before I did that. I know I've done it a bazillion times. Okay, a bazillion, bazillion, right? Whatever. Done it so many times. And the first thought I had was, man, I should have stretched better, I should have warmed up better, blah, 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 blah. Yes, that's probably true. Regardless, if you have that thought because something happened, it's very possible that you could have benefited from more of a warm up and more stretching, dynamic stretching before your workout. But the injury itself, okay, there's been some studies that have happened in the past few years that have shown a direct correlation between muscle strength and hamstring pulls versus range of motion flexibility and hamstring pulls. And guess which one results in hamstring injuries more often? Not flexibility, not stretching routines before exercises. Hamstring strength is the number one, I should say, hamstring weakness is the number one cause of hamstring pulls in sport. All right. So looking at that information, looking at some of those studies, we look at injuries in general come from lack of strength, not from not stretching enough. Okay. Stretching again helps improve range of motion, helps improve muscle activation, which helps improve your muscle growth, which makes you stronger, more able to control weight, have more stability, and handle more stress, which then reduces your risk of injury. So if you're worried about injury, then think about stretching as a component in the puzzle. It's a piece of the puzzle, but it is not. Directly responsible for that. Okay. So, and the video is pausing again. I'm just seeing everybody saying, well, I just talk a lot. So I'm hoping the video that I replay is better than the video you guys are seeing, because that's pretty much all the information. It was a quick one today, a little bit of info, but we will come back. If you have any questions, let me know, guys. If you don't get a good version of this, let me know, and I will do another one like I did last time, specifically on the topic. All right. Take it easy. I will talk to you guys soon. See ya.